Hi, this is Jim with JSCS Computer Solutions, and today I want to talk about a feature of Raritan's Power IQ that really is pretty neat, and it's called outlet naming. Now, outlet naming. If you brought up a Dominion PX homepage, you'd see a list of all the outlets for that PDU and their name. And if you wanted to change the outlet names to something more consistent, say rack number and outlet number, you'd hover over Details and select Outlet Setup. Here's the setup for Outlet 1. It shows you the previous name here in the selection list, and here is the block where you can actually change it. And I'm going to change this to R1-01 for Rack 1, Outlet 1. And I'm going to select Apply. And just to confirm, I go to the home page here, and you'll see that the name has changed to R1-01. Now, if we wanted to do that for all of the outlets in this PDU, we would select the second outlet, highlight the name, change it to R1-02 perhaps, and click on Apply. Then we go to the third outlet, and we do this so on and so forth until all of the outlets had the correct names. Now you can see with just one PDU that would take several minutes to do. But what if you had several racks, 35, 40, 50 racks, each with a 20 outlet PDU? Now that would take some time. So let's see what we can do with Raritan's Power IQ. If we go to the Power IQ dashboard and take a look at the PDUs, we'll see in this case that I only have one PDU currently installed on here, but that's fine for our purposes. Now take a look over here on the right. You'll see a selection called Outlet Naming. Go ahead and select on Outlet Naming and wait for the screen to refresh. And what you'll see here is a way to import PDU outlet names. But what we don't really know is what is the format of the input file. And since we already have one PDU in Power IQ with some outlet names, the cool feature here is the ability to export a comma-separated value file with the current outlet names just by clicking this link here, which we'll do now. Now here is our comma-separated value file brought into Microsoft Excel. And the first thing we probably should do is expand all the columns so we can see what's going on here. In column A, you see the IP address of the device. Column B is a contact name. Column C is the device name. Column D is the device location. And the rest of these columns are the outlets, outlet names. Now for the purposes of this demonstration, let's say I had 20 PDUs and I wanted to build a CSV file that had standardized outlet names for all 20 of those PDUs. Let's say, for example, that PDU 192.168.0.192 is currently in Rack 1. So I'm actually going to change the location name just temporarily to R1. I'm also going to change the device name, since they're all the same device in this case, to add 01 to that. Now since we're dealing in text here, I'm going to select all of the cells and format the cells to just be general text cells. Also, temporarily, I'm going to insert a cell right here, which is just going to help set things up. Now let's say that I have 20 of these PDUs, all starting with that IP address. I'll just select the first section, drag down, and release. Now that's pretty neat. Now for this column, they're all going to be 01 because we're talking about the first outlet in each rack. So we'll just do a copy and we'll just paste this. Now let's insert another general column. Insert and format that column to general because we're going to put in a formula. And here we will say that this will be a concatenation of R1 plus a dash followed by E1. And you see that what we're doing is we're making what will ultimately go here as the name of rack 1, outlet 1. And this outlet name will be the same, 01, but the R number will change depending on which PDU it's in. So we'll just do the same drag. Now these are actually formulas, but what we want are values. So what we'll do is we will copy, and then right on top of it we will paste special and just select values. And now you'll see that we don't have formulas, but we have the value there. And let's go ahead and format this cell back to text. And now that this column is text, we don't need this column anymore. So now we have outlet 1 for rack 1's PDU is given the correct name. And you can see each one of these outlets, outlet 1 for each one of these PDUs is listed here. So we don't need this column anymore, which used to represent that. So let's go ahead and delete that. And now we're left with outlet 2, 3, 4, and so on. The next thing we want to do is replicate what we did here with outlet 1 across all 12 outlets for all 20 PDUs. And now we have a consistent outlet naming scheme for all of the outlets for all of our PDUs. The last thing we really want to do is go ahead and change back the location name for our PDUs to something a little bit more human readable. In this case, I'm just going to do a find and replace and change the R to rack dash. Finally, we just need to save our file to our desktop. So now that we've created our comma-separated value file with all the correct outlet names, what we would do is go into Power IQ and browse to that comma-separated value file and click on Import. Now the one we just created has 20 PDUs. I only have one PDU in Power IQ, so if I tried to import that, I would just get an error. So what I need to do is, so that I can demonstrate this for you, is just go ahead and delete the other 19, save that file, come into Power IQ, browse to that location, and select Import. You are about to import outlet names for a single PDU. Continue. Now what Power IQ will do is give you a status report as it's updating it. And you can read right here, it's updating the label for outlet 7, 8, now up to 10 for this one. 100% complete. Let's click on Done. And if we went to our PDU list in Power IQ and selected our PDU and scroll down for the readings, you'd see that all the outlet names were changed. And up here, our location changed. The name of the device changed. And if we go back to the Dominion PX main home page, you'd also see that all of the names have changed there as well. Well, that's it. I hope that you'll find that particular feature of Power IQ useful. I know I do. And again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to visit our website at www.jscs.com and select the Contact Us link. Have a good day.